Good afternoon. It's another edition, brand new 60 Minutes Nigeria, where we'll be discussing a crucial national issue. Well, on today's edition, national issues will be discussed. My name is Egosa Agmulao. I have with me very distinguished personalities with us today. I have from an academics, Dr. Maxwell Osage. Nice to have you today.
Thank you, Egosa.
I have with us a very distinguished man of God, and he is also a seasoned analyst who also represents the youths, Apostle Elvis Agbonaima. Nice to have you today. Okay. Okay. Now, today's program promises to be enlightening, educative, and of course, entertaining. A lot is happening in Nigeria, and that actually informs today's topic. The rising deaths in the country has giving cause for concern. In Edo State, the governor of Edo State leaves no stone unturned, Mr. Godwin Obaseki, in encouraging residents to take the vaccine, to allow the vaccination exercise to go on smoothly. To the extent, it's been taken to churches, to worship centers. In other states, we've also seen vaccination exercise going on. Now, the rising deaths, like I said, gives cause for concern. Almost every day, you ask after this, they say he's gone to rest. You ask after that, he's gone to rest. You ask of so person, he has passed away, she has passed away. We are disturbed. After looking at that, we also now look at the security situation in the country. As I speak, Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari is in Imo State. That is visit to the southeast to inaugurate projects. And of course, that also endear him to the people. That will also give him the opportunity to have a first-hand assessment of the area and interact with opinion leaders, governors. Okay, so that's the background information on the program today, 60 Minutes Nigeria, aired weekly on Thursdays. We are going to start from an academics, Dr. Maxwell Osage, who will be giving us his own assessment of this situation, starting with the rising deaths. Doctor, do you think it is the refusal of some Nigerians to get vaccinated? Do you think that could be responsible for the increase in number of deaths in this country as we speak?
Yeah, thank you, Egosa.
Okay.
There are so many factors responsible to the rising rate of death we currently are experiencing in the country. Yeah, it's so unfortunate that the pandemic is still pretty much, the viral disease is still pretty much active. Yeah. As we see on a daily basis by the experts. Take it or you leave it. We cannot work by assumption or insinuation or a theory that is not backed up by evidence or by experts. Now, by the record of NCDC, thank you, I said. By the record of NCDC, yes, it is obvious that the COVID is eating deeply on the society. So we cannot rule out that fact, in as much as we want to agree to the fact that, yes, their record is fictitious, their record is not valid and everything. You are not the expert. Whether you like it or not, that is the same record we will work with. Okay. And we are working by that record. So let's leave those aspects of mental degradation, of trying to one way or the other, use our own imagination or our personal theories or our personal immune system to judge the state of things. For the fact that you are well immune, yeah, we are not the same. Some persons are naturally immune. I have my immediate elder brother has not treated malaria for more than 1 year. Does it mean that malaria
does not exist?
It exists. My immediate elder brother is what I'm telling you.
Yes.
He has not treated malaria. It doesn't, when we are talking about malaria he is like to him. And I also have a colleague in the office.
Yes.
She has not treated malaria for a number of years. My vice chancellor also directly told me that he has not treated malaria for a number of years. So immune differs. But you have some persons that treat malaria almost on monthly basis. Any little bite you react. So that does not justify the point that COVID does not exist. It does. So in as much as we believe that in a sample of 2 to 10,
yes,
then you now use that to justify that it does not exist. No, it does exist. So that has also contributed to the rising death. Another area where we have to look into,
yes,
that has contributed to, you call somebody suddenly they say it has gone to rest. Of a truth, many of the rest we are saying it has gone to rest and everything, they are actually not rest because they were forced to go and rest. Not naturally what God planned for them. One way or the other, by way of stringent policies by government that has caged us into where we ought not to be.
We're looking at the very, very disheartening situation, rising death, people dying. We are saying, could it be related to the refusal of citizens, of residents, of states to take the vaccine, to take the jab, to be vaccinated? My guest, Dr. Maso Saige, has given his opening remarks, and that was before the break. But we'll just allow him to quickly just conclude so that my other guests can also make their contributions. Dr. Maso, a quick one.
Just like I was saying, there are several factors involved in the rising cause of death or the death rate that we see. Now, before the break, I was saying that the natural air we breathe in nowadays seems to be hot even in the cold weather. Or even when you are inside the AC, you see the air is really not friendly. Now, and that has created tension such that one thing that keeps people so fast is rise in BP and at the same time sugar level. And this COVID thing has actually made people not to be going to hospital in the normal way they go for checkup and everything. Now, just because of that fear factor, and has increased to the level of where we are today. I think we need to use wisdom, although when we get it, wisdom to let people, let's buy into their conscience in such a way that we don't create fear and tension that will further compound the situation. Okay,
thank you. We'll come back to you. But Apostle Mr. Agbonaima, I know that you will be itching to make your comments.
God bless you.
Yes.
Let me say this, talking about the increase in death rate now because of what is happening. But for me, I have two facts.
Okay.
You know, the Bible will say the truth you know will surely set you free.
Yes.
Number one reason for the increase of death is hunger. There is serious hunger in the land. Do you know, as we speak now, there are people that it is difficult for them to feed just 1 square meal a day. Chocolates of 3 square meals. And when you are not eating well, you can't be healthy. Even those who are working, because of the hike in food items. You know, the government is not doing anything about that. I want to tell you that hunger is killing people than even the so-called COVID-19. It's true. A lot of people are dying of, hunger. They can't feed well. You get what I'm saying now? It's a major fact that has brought the increase in death rate. A lot of people can no longer eat well. Because go to market, go and price a tuber of yam. go to market, go and buy rice and other things. And these were things that, you know, people easily get before now. Even those who are receiving salary, they are struggling because of the hike in, you know, in foodstuff. Everything. And the painful aspect of it, the government is doing nothing about that.
Careless. Yeah, but the government is intervening and encouraging farming and all that.
Hunger is killing people more than the COVID-19, the so-called COVID-19. If you want to help the people, you know, regulate the food prices and help so that when people are well fed, do you know that when you are well fed, even sickness, you know, there are some sicknesses that cannot bring you down. Because the immunity will be built. The second fact that has increased the death rate, insecurity. For example, do you know the people that are dying through insecurity is higher than the people that COVID-19 is killing? Go to Aunchi Road here. I was surprised when our governor came out. Let me say this. What the people need now is how to feed first. How to, you know, they should be secure before we should be talking of other things. Because hunger is there. The level of insecurity, there are people now that will go on journey, don't even know whether they will come back. For you to travel to Edo Central now is a problem. From Edo North. Are you going to understand? Edo Central. From Edo South to Edo Central is a problem. And there are many food items that would have been coming from that angle. Even those who are doing business. Do you know how many market people have died? Market women have died through the process. That is what the people need now. You get it? I'm not trying to force people about COVID-19 and all that. We are not against, you know, even though you want people to take the vaccine, for example, you want people to take vaccine, you sensitize them. You don't need to force anybody. Even in Western world, it's not done. Nigeria is a third nation. You get it? Now, when there is food, there is security. I believe the increase in death will reduce because these two areas really increase the death rate. Thank you.
Thank you. I can see that Archbishop Fred Agedo has a lot to say. What's your take on this? Let's start with we are going to discuss insecurity in detail. Apostle has just touched it, but let's look at the issue of the rising debt. Right. You make a phone call to somebody and say, "How is your daddy?" He said, "Oh, daddy has gone to rest." "How is mommy?" He said, "Oh, mommy has passed away." You know, that kind of news is very disheartening and gives cause for concern. Could it be that they are not taking the vaccination could be attributable to some of these deaths?
Well, Mr. Journalist, I don't have so much to say, but I'm glad that everybody is reacting this way because we are only talking of what is happening now. Nobody have been able to go back to the basis of how did we get here. Did the word of God ever talk about this even before we are here now? And why this evil seed was being sowed long time ago? Did anybody react? We gave the feed out. We planted good seed. We went home to sleep. And while you were sleeping, an enemy of life, an enemy of good thing came to sow in bad seed. And now it's time to harvest. We are crying. Nobody should cry. We have not even seen anything. They are talking of COVID-19. COVID-19 is not real. It's not true.
No, I must interject.
Okay.
No, I must interject. COVID-19 is real.
COVID-19 is real. Yes. I agree with you.
Okay.
But the people are hungry and the people are angry. The people are hungry and the people are angry. So many of them even want to die even before COVID-19 comes. So nobody is scared of death again. But how did we get here? The wickedness we sowed in the 60s, in the 70s, in the 80s. Parents no longer checkmate children. Children don't even want to be checkmate. Civilization have taken away the law of nature and nobody is worried about it. We are only talking of what we are seeing now. What is coming? You know, I always come here to talk like a prophet. I see much danger. I see youth in the streets. I see blood flowing. Well, it's not going to be strange to Edo State because it's a city of blood. And this is where we are all born and we grew up. We are used to it. But hear this word, no matter what you are saying, don't force anybody against his wish. Every man right now on the street are ready to die. COVID-19 vaccination will not solve any problem. Let's digress. Let's go to the other way. Let's find out how did this evil come to emerge. Those who are taking it, they are afraid of that because they don't want to die. With what is happening now that you cannot even feed, dying is not a better option.
No, it's not.
It is.
Once there's life, there's hope.
It is. It's me that would have tell you that.
Yes.
The reason is because of the gospel I preach. But now we are pushed to the wall. Every man is pushed to the wall, and they are ready to fight back. And mark that word: the youth, the nation, the old, the young, they are hungry and they are annoyed. What do you do to pacify this before you are adding chemical to their body? And must this thing be forced on men? The answer is no. There are protests in town, and I'm a part of those that are actually protesting in town. We are saying no to forceful vaccination. That is to the government. But the government needs a lot of counsel. The government cannot do it alone. The government needs an advisor. Now, who are the people surrounding the government? The sycophants. Who will eat and does their mouth and say it is well, whereas the less privileged that doesn't have an access to the government, they are crying and they are weeping and they are dying in hunger, and you are telling them come to hospital free of charge. The hospital treat malaria free of charge. They pay, and that's a common sickness that we are all used to. So let's take something, let's take it step by step. And for Edo State, which I am a part of the government, I will not deny that. For Edo State, we are saying Edo State is not a Muslim state. So if vaccination is to be declared in the church, it ought not to start from Edo State, where the governor and the deputy governor, they are both Christians. In Muslim states, where governor is a Muslim, deputy is a Muslim, they have not even declared forceful vaccination, which even our Christian leaders in the state are backing up without even talking to some of us that are less privileged to have access to the government.
Okay, we'll come back to you for more
God bless
comments,
you.
but I need to situate what the Archbishop has said. One, it must be understood that Edo State governor has not forced anyone to take vaccination. There's no forceful vaccination in Edo State, but rather the citizens and residents in Edo State have been encouraged to take the vaccine for their own protection. It must be, that point must be cleared. And Edo State, Benin City is not the city of blood. It is our belief that there will be peace, there will be development in the state. But I think what the Archbishop is saying is that there is need to correct the societal decadence, the ills of the society, where people no longer respect culture, people no longer respect their parents no longer have time for their family, for their children, to counsel them, to advise them. He is saying that that is a problem that must be corrected to avoid danger. So I think that's the point. It must be understood. But let's go back to Dr. Maxwell. Now, you have been able to talk from different perspectives. Now, yes, we know that there's COVID-19, but before COVID-19, there have been other ailments. And I think that's another point that my guests have been emphasizing here, that there are also other ailments that need to be tackled. The citizens there must be provision for adequate health care to treat malaria, to treat, I think that's the point that is being emphasized here. But now, in your own opinion, what do you think government can do to actually solve this problem of rising deaths?
Yeah, thank you, Awosa.
Yes.
But with all due respect to Bishop Wedosa, I'm a Christian to the core.
Okay.
The only thing I don't want to be called is for you to call me a pastor.
Okay.
I just felt I practice Christianity to letter.
Okay.
But there is one thing that has given rise to most of all this death we see nowadays, that people don't longer do the needful. The reason why God gave us brain is for we to solve the simplest things by not constantly calling him. There are many things God has given us idea on to solve. But this part of the world is a bit worrisome. It's a bit worrisome that this part of the world, we try to neglect that and just put everything on God, on God. And God said, if you are praying for 10 billion naira right now, and you have 10,000 naira in your pocket, another person is not praying, shouting and everything, asking God for 100 naira, will you allow such person to continue in such prayer? You rather give that person 100, I find your level, and let me concentrate on the 10 billion I'm asking for. Why? Because that capacity is there. For crying out loud, God has given us the same capacity with the Western people. But we are so much relegated those capacity to religion, which is a worrisome proportion to Nigeria development. In fact, 98% of what Nigeria has refused to develop is this religious aspect of it. That we try to look at things, we look at it from a religious perspective. We raise this one, we look at it from a religious perspective. For crying out loud, the reason why we go to school to study different things, a lawyer will take you to court and defend you. That is his own area of interest. I am a scientist. I know what it takes to move from one level to another level before you get to the final level of your algorithm. Now, the end product of why we went to school is to study due process. Now, that due process will give you result. In as much as I want to agree that the method by which the governor came out on here to say second week and everything is bad, but I also want to know, I also want to conclude from scientific perspective that the reason why he was also looking at that is based on the statistics that given to him by the NCDC. I'm right.
You're right.
Given to him, and if this death rate is continuing, as a governor, he's saddled with that responsibility to first, with a prompt action, to see. Now, I've read history about vaccination. I really do not like the religious or the conspiracy theory around vaccination. Vaccination is vaccination, just like we take our children so more. I always hear my wife when it gets to this more. No hospital tells you to come and vaccinate your child by force.
No.
That's immunization.
Yes. Nobody tells you. No. Nobody, no hospital forces you to say you must give your daughter vaccination. But you as a parent, based on history, that you have been told that measles killed a lot of persons, and the only way they were able to solve it was also through vaccination. You don't even know the vaccination you are giving to your daughter. You take your daughter there and they give your daughter vaccination. Now you made a choice for your daughter or your son. Now the only issue we have now is that because we are adults, we want to make the decision for ourselves now that we are making for our children. It has become an issue. I don't know if you are getting me.
Yeah.
So we are not giving a series of theories. I have a colleague, in as much as I agree that you don't force people to take vaccine. I had a colleague that is 60-something. He had COVID, almost break down. Even not that the 2 jab has been taken, the guy would have been gone. So let's speak with fact and figure. In as much as I do not support the governor, you don't force people. No hospital forces any child to take vaccine. You take them there by choice. So this thing, if there is any good gift God has given to man, is the choice to decide who you want to become.
Free will.
That's why when you say you want to become Christian, God comes in. If he doesn't want to become Christian, he stays on his own. He said, come, let's reason together. There are many things involved. Okay. So let us not continue to coronate or to one way or the other and navigate this whole process into religious perspective, leaving the scientific perspective. The chickenpox was solved. We had many diseases that had been eradicated by this. But in as much as I want to agree that this part is not the major reason of the death rate, the government should look into key areas that is killing us. As we speak, no health sector is working.
We'll come back to that.
So what are we not saying?
We'll come back to that. But we'll just
These are why people are dying.
Okay,
no hospital to take care.
It's always a delight to know that you're spending part of your 60 minutes with us or your entire 60 minutes with us on a Thursday. 60 minutes Nigeria, according to first program. Apostle Elvis was also itching to make his comment before that break. Apostle, yes.
I want to quickly say something from the angle of a doctor.
Okay.
I want to let you know, sir, that the spiritual is seen in the physical. That everything that happens physically must take place spiritually.
That's facts.
And if you don't know, most of our leaders are spiritual men. And most of the times, most of the decisions they come out physically and say, they have already arranged spiritually.
That's another thing we don't understand.
Yes, that's why when you see that people
that.
are very skeptical when they are coming out with different things.
Yes.
It is
We
because,
don't trust them.
yes, you cannot, I watched some days back when a retired Navy officer said that there are a group of people, leaders in this government, federal government, that are doing everything humanly possible to make Nigeria an Islamic state. I watch him. That is not a commoner. It's somebody. He even
But that's his own personal.
That's the same religion I'm
That's
talking
his own
about.
personal opinion because
When
we
you
are
see
not
people
privy
you to it.
Yeah, to
It's the same
whatever.
religion I'm talking about.
Listen, sir. Everybody has
Nigeria
to be
is a secular
You
state.
get it now?
Remove religion. Let's look at government from
Okay,
government
so I'm supposed to
perspective.
continue. Yes.
I just want to,
Yes, I
when
got
you
your
see
point.
people talking from that angle,
Yeah.
they know what they are saying.
Okay.
Because they might be seeing what you are not seeing. What you don't know become a mystery.
Okay.
Now, let me leave that. You get it now? The spiritual senior the physical. Let's take it. Do you know the decision concerning this nation, even concerning the COVID-19, majority of the decisions are taken at night when you are sleeping? Let's leave that.
Okay.
Now,
Because we don't know about that.
I know.
Yeah.
Right from the beginning.
Meeting with them.
No, well, I might not be in the meeting.
may not be the meeting.
I might not be in the meeting.
that's
But I can fine tune it and assess what is happening.
Okay.
That is. Let me stop there.
Yes.
Talking about how we can come out to put an end to
this rising debt.
To this rising debt. Number one, our government, our leader need to be sincere.
Okay.
Are you aware that even this COVID-19 issue, people are making billions out of it? Money is changing hands. Yeah. They are doing business with us. All this coming out and be talking, bringing down numbers. Can I shock you? I stand from the beginning. I spoke about it. It is business they are doing with us. You get it now? We know people are making billions out of this COVID-19 issue. I'm telling you the truth. There are people who do not want any. They are even praying for lockdown because they even know that if they go on lockdown in Nigeria, it will not work. Because people already, a lot of people's eyes have been open that a lot of things are not clear. Now, if what I might advise to the government or those who are in authority, to reduce or bring down the death rate, is to provide amenities. The hospital now, the health sector now, for example, is shaking, is not working well. I do get
resident doctors on strike.
Yes, you look at it now. That is an angle. Even when you are sick, now the way they are so popular, they are so marketed COVID-19. Look as if every other sickness does not exist
again.
Meanwhile, malaria is killing people. Other sicknesses are killing people. Typhoid is killing people. You get it now. I discovered that malaria even kill more than malaria. If you check the statistics, malaria kill people more than even the COVID-19. I do get what I'm saying. Now, what my advice to the leaders, those who are in authority, is to stop lying to us. Let us be sincere. Now, let us feast the hunger in the land. There is serious hunger in the land. Those who are farming, they cannot go to their farm anymore.
Because this is
because of insecurity.
Apostle, because it's a public space, I quickly correct that. The government is not lying to us.
I didn't say the government. I said our leaders.
Okay, our leaders. They are not lying to us. But what you are telling them is that our leaders should ensure that they carry the people along. Okay.
Sir, you are speaking from your own personal view, and I'm also speaking from what I've seen. Many of our leaders are not telling us the truth. We know the truth. We are there. We are, let me stop there, sir. Now,
complex analysis.
It is true, sir. Now, let the hunger issue be attended to. Okay. Let the insecurity be attended to. Okay. I tell you the truth, sir. If the hunger issue is attended to, the hike in price of goods, is control. The government had the power, they have the capacity to control it, and it is control. People can eat, they can go to market. Those who are into farming, they can go to their farm and no fear. I tell you the truth, sir, the death rate will reduce.
Okay.
That if I can travel, if I'm going to Aunchi or going to Ekboma, I will not have fear in my mind. Do you know that fear kills faster than anything?
That's the BP now.
Yeah, that's the BP.
No matter what you are eating, once there is fear, are you get what I'm saying now? That's why the people are angry, because there is serious hunger, there's a high level of insecurity, the food prices are going up every day, sir.
Okay, thank you, Apostle. Now, we just moved straight now to the issue of insecurity. That is actually another very disheartening problem, bedeviling the country. The federal government, only yesterday the president had meetings, day before yesterday the president had meetings, there be security meetings, and Nigerians want to see results. Okay, Archbishop, now, maybe you have suggestions on better approach to tackling security in Nigeria.
I will go back to what I said before.
Okay, please go on.
One, you see, before we get to insecurity,
yes,
about this COVID-19,
okay,
about the sickness in the land,
okay,
everybody has spoken well,
okay,
but I have a little issue with it.
Okay.
Anytime I come here and talk, I tell you, I look at it from my own perspective.
Okay.
With my holy light,
okay,
that I normally used to see.
Okay.
This man is talking from academic background.
He's a scientist.
And he's a scientist.
Yes.
And scientists and the spiritual people, sometimes they conflict. That's why there is always a reaction. A reaction of the positive and negative may sometimes give you a light or give you fire.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
So you can see this man talking like a pastor. So I'm just in the midst of the two of them.
Yes.
So
yes.
I just have to declare.
We balance it.
Yes.
The balancing it is, let's go back to the basis.
Yes.
Evil have been sold. I started
We must correct evil.
You just have to correct it. Because if you don't take care of it now, tomorrow get prepared for it. Because you cannot deceive yourself. Okay. Whatsoever a man soweth, that he will reap. So
okay, but
we are reaping what we sow.
Yeah,
okay. Hold on,
okay.
I'm coming.
Yes.
That is concerning this COVID-19 of 18. We are all aware, whether it's a business or they have a genuine word or whatever it is. But we also preach it in the church. I don't know how the Muslims are talking about.
Yeah, why don't you concentrate on Christians? Leave the Muslims. They also have their own forum to make their comments.
Because before we become Christians, we have a book we so much believe in, which we call the Bible. The Bible told us of things that will happen at a time like this. And the Bible so described it, how this injection will come about, how you'll be given an injection, how mark will come about, which we call the mark of the beast, called the 666.
Okay, that's a spiritual angle we cannot entertain on this program now. Yes.
So because of the information that we've heard, some of us who are about 40-something, 50 years in this gospel work, we are scared of what is happening now. So more orientation has to be given.
Okay.
People will go for that. But my own is that the first problem of our nation? Hospitals are shut down. Our leaders are traveling overseas for treatment. They knew quite all right that the one they have in their own nation is not good enough. When Gaddafi was talking of Libya, Gaddafi had been in Libya. I have never traveled out of that nation. We said he was a bad man. But all that Gaddafi did, people are regretting, and why do they support others to kill Gaddafi? Our leader, are they even copying example? Our leader, do they see what is wrong in their leadership role? And whatever they are doing, the younger ones are copying from them. If it's not well done, now any mistake you make now is what a baby will learn. I watched on my social media yesterday, a young boy was saying, if I grow, I would like to be a murderer. That is the thinking. And that's the kind of film he's looking at.
That's terrible. So the parents of that boy, they failed.
Yes.
Yeah, the thing is trending on social media. They failed.
It's also we.
Yes.
Not only them. That baby came out to speak his mind. He's just 6 years old. then my own has not come. You don't know what my own is thinking. You don't know what my own is saying. You don't know what Dr. O is saying.
Yeah.
You don't know what Pastor O is saying.
Yeah.
So these are the area we, the parents, has actually failed. We have failed ourselves. We have failed God who created heaven and the earth. And we have failed the nature. And based on this, culture is no longer respected. Tradition is no longer respected. Neither the altar where we preach this gospel have been defiled. So until we go back to the basis and say there is consequence for every evil perpetrator, until we go back to punishment, to things that are not done right, until we go back to really see that we, the parents, that the children ought to look after, we are the one that is failing. We, the leaders on top, we are the one that are failing, because what we are doing, people are behind us.
Watching.
Yeah, watching.
Okay. So sir, please, let's leave COVID-19 now. Insecurity. Do you have any advice? Do you think there are other ways you think government can actually tackle this problem?
Yes, it can be done when punishment, capital punishment, is meted out to a convict, to somebody. Not that court
somebody who killed another person.
Not that court is saying you cannot call him a convict until he no, who is in the court? Is he not a human being? You see somebody rape a housewife, kill that housewife. In that process, first of all, it was against the law of nature and the law of heaven and earth that you ought not to rape or somebody's wife. You dare not touch. Because when David was told in the Bible that he has committed adultery, he never knew he was the one that Prophet Nathan was saying. He said, such man is not fit to live. He judged himself. He judged himself. Now, our leaders still judging themselves when they are marrying their wife, neighbor's wife and all the rest. No. And people behind them are watching. Pastors are marrying more than one wife. People are looking. I don't know. Until we go back to the basis of life. Insecurity. Look, if I was not a pastor, if I was just ordinary Christian, I would confess before I do people or the whole world that are watching. If I was not a pastor and I'm still in the street by now and I'm frustrated the way I see some of our youth, my dear, I won't go for chicken change.
Let's not go to that area.
Let's not go there. So
let's not go to that area.
The truth.
Okay.
Because we know where the trouble is coming from.
Yes.
And I know where to hit.
Yes.
Not even poor man.
Okay, we'll come back to you, Archbishop. Apostle Elvis. Okay, Apostle Elvis, you've spoken, but let's quickly get Dr. Maxwell on this insecurity. Now, what advice? Because this is another it's a problem that's also claiming lives.
Also, the structural tendency of the country. I want to agree with Archbishop.
Yes.
Foundation.
Okay.
It's 40.
It's 40.
Okay.
Now, the structural tendency of the way our nation is built is creating room for crime every day.
Yes.
Crime every day. Now, if a governor who is the head of a state that has about 18 local government or 24 or 44 local government do not have a say on how to govern his own state, all you say is that you gave him security votes to do what? Security vote to always constantly give police. Is that what is security? That's not what is security. That's part of the component of security. Now, that we need to go back to foundation. And I really do not know what is wrong. The meta degradation ravaging our National Assembly in creating policies that will better our lives. Were you not here when they said a senator's son, first son, was killed? Is it not in Kaduna?
Yeah, Kaduna.
In Kaduna. Now that was not a rural area.
No.
An urban set, GROA to be called.
Yes.
Now, this is the point. It has gotten to that level. Now, you no longer, if a place where you graduate 20 people every month, and you only give job to one, what do you want the remaining 19 to do? Now, I'm hearing now, why would there not be insecurity if we don't correct certain things? Have you been told that no minister receive salary for 2 months?
No.
Has he been told that President Buhari did not receive salary for 1 month?
Never. He has even received area.
Now, these same people are not even creating policies that will better your life or that will better my life, but they collect salary on monthly basis and allowances. Now, the doctor that treats you and I
has not got anything.
Has not got it. Now, somebody will come out on here and be telling us we are not owing them. You are not owing them. Why are they on strike?
Why are they on strike?
For crying out loud, we are angry.
Do they have
now,
to be on
I
strike?
think right now, and what's that? The fact is this. I think right now, the money, I want to see where government, the officials will come out and say, we have not received salary for 1.5 years. Rather than the people that are working tirelessly to secure life, property, the police and everything, and you don't give them. And you said there will not be insecurity. Now, these are things. These same people you look at that are protecting you, because you are not taking care of them, they now strategize several means.
Tomorrow.
Using those that doesn't have the capability to feed because they are already dead, half dead. Then they will just tell them, can you do this? He said, I can now. And you see that. I think if in a country where you have to use 60% to service only few persons in government, and the remaining 50%, you cannot even share it equally with everybody. Now, if you listen to Wike 2 days ago or yesterday, you heard, did you ever know before now that first, federal inner revenue and everything, how they distribute their money? Have you ever heard? Now, it was shocking that in a federation system, one person will now collect all the money. In as much as I do not believe everything that Wike said, but there are certain facts. These are things that create insecurity.
He said they are all true.
There are certain facts. How can you collect 15 billion naira from me, and you will not send me 4 billion in a month?
Then share the rest.
You will not share. Now, you collected a certain region, because I do not want to create that.
Yes.
A certain region, you collected 2 billion naira. You gave that person 2 billion naira again.
2.8. You even add to it.
Now, check out the workers in FROSC. Now, when you see certain workers and certain politicians in their category, you see the flashing cars, you see the flashing light they live and everything. You that couldn't even eat food, why would you think of ways to better life? The point I'm trying to make, the end product of that is this. I think it's high time with this jamboree I'm holding meeting with security chief that we don't see results and everything.
It should stop.
It should stop. There is no need for meeting. Because the meeting has not yielded any positive result.
You may not know.
No, my brother, there is no result. Yesterday they just kidnapped. Yesterday evening they just kidnapped. In Kaduna, they just kidnapped again in Kaduna. They went to a particular local government, entered the village, kidnapped. So it can only get better when we start seeing result of the reduction. As for now, it's not getting better. Now, what are the reasons? Because the structural tendency of the police force and the military architecture is not with any governor. Uto has been crying for how many years? Did you see solution? Now you heard Masari yesterday, a bit 2 days ago, the Katsina governor, where he said actually Fulanese are the one.
No, please don't mention any tribe.
I am quoting him. This is not my word. Yeah. I am quoting the governor of Katsina State. If it is my word, I will say yes.
But we don't want any tribe mentioned.
Now, that was a quote from him, and today some activists and some clergymen said this is a justification to what Utom has been saying. These are not my works, these are their works.
Yes.
So, but the point I'm trying to say, we just have a president that cares less.
The president care more.
He care less on this matter.
He care.
My brother,
the
see,
president
here we are right
but
now.
just that,
no, sir, wait,
no. The country is overwhelmed.
No, sir, I'm a very objective person.
Yes.
I voted for Buhari. I know how many people and in 2015, I know how many people I convinced. I know how many people I convinced, even when they were telling me something about history. The point I'm trying to make, the point I'm trying to make is this. At this point in time, all the politicians should resign their position.
We'll come back to you. Okay. Apostle Elvis, what do you think government can do? You know, it's very easy to criticize. It's not easy to be a president. It's not easy to be a governor. It's when you get there, you discover that there's a lot to do. Nigeria is such a large country. But your advice can help. So what do you think government can do to tackle insecurity?
With due respect, sir,
Yes.
our leaders, they know what to do. There is nothing I'm going to say that they don't know. Just that some of them are being wicked. They know what to do. Some of them travel out of this country. They know these things. Talking about providing solution. The first question I want to ask, what is this security vote given to governors? For example, let's start by governor.
Okay.
What is it used for? Because I am meant to know that is in millions. For example, the governor has done well by this setting up the vigilante.
Yeah.
But there's a problem awaiting.
Where's
Because-
the stationer backup?
Because if you watch now, from my research, the police are already having problem with them. Because they are working. But there's a serious problem awaiting if we don't cure it. These people have harms. Really, they are doing work. Most of our community, they are really perfected. They are doing well. But they are not well taken care of. That is why I'm having problem with the security force given to the government. Because you can take money from there and also do something. Because by the time these people work and they discover that nothing is coming, you might surprise they will turn back to the people again.
We pray that doesn't happen.
That's why we pray it shouldn't happen. We should take care of it. Then two, I believe hardly the insecurity in our state, in our nation, is not difficult if they want to do it. Okay. Because we have the money.
It's not even money.
For example, let's just talk about Auchiro here. If there are people you will mobilize, the government can mobilize. Like if you look at what the vigilante is doing now, they have reduced to a large extent the level of insecurity within the city.
Yeah.
Now, if the governor decide again and mobilize people to map out those areas and encourage them well, I tell you, because those people that are operating in those areas, they are human beings. They work on our lapses. Are you getting that? And again, the government too can also set up some security officers to monitor those communities, because those people that are operating inside those bush or those communities, those villages, this is my personal opinion.
Yes.
They work with those communities. There are people that are informants. Because for you to know those terrain, you must be, either you are there or you are working with somebody there. That's why you discover that continually people are being kidnapped. Just few days back now, an activist, his brother was killed. It's because that one is popular, and that's why everybody is
knew about
What about those market women that nobody knows them? Many of them have died, they couldn't pay, their life have been wasted. I think for me, the security vote should be used.
Okay.
There are people that are ready to support the government to secure the state. The government should encourage them.
Thank you. Because of time, Archbishop, your closing remarks.
My closing remark goes this way. I don't think we are talking to those state government alone.
It's to the country.
It's to the nation.
Yes.
So I am actually making it very broad.
Okay.
That is not to Edo State government.
Yeah.
To Edo State government is doing well.
Okay.
For what he has and the way he's minimizing it.
Okay.
It's okay. I'm not saying it's too good or it's too bad. It's okay. But my final remark is we must go back to this leadership structure.
Yes.
That we should know that we didn't just get to where we are today.
Yes.
Something take us here. And if we are going to see to it, let's see how we can have a change of mindset.
Okay.
So that things can be very, very easy for us.
Okay.
You can't say because you are a governor, you are a president, you are sick, you can go and treat yourself somewhere. While the poor men are dying in hunger and they don't have access to medical facility. That's an issue. That's enough for anybody, for insecurity to grow in the nation. So if they can handle that, I think Edo State and Nigeria will be a better.
Thank you, Archbishop. Because of time, I've just been told. I want to commend Dr. Maxwell. Thank you for your time and your contributions.
Thank you.
Apostle Elvis, thank you very much. I believe that the authorities, information passed on this program, you may not know they are far-reaching. Goes a long way to also mold policy making. So I want to thank you, and I want to thank our viewer there who spent their 60 minutes with us on the program 60 Minutes Nigeria. My name is Egusa Agmola. I do have a wonderful weekend ahead. Bye-bye. See you next week.